I never thought I'd be a runner, but if I can run, you can too. Today I'm going to talk about 3 tips that I recommend to becoming a runner. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to share one thing that you must have when you're running. First, to talk about my backstory a little bit, if you want to know, I did not grow up in athletics. Running, I was not active. Running the mile in school was terrible. I used to dread running the mile. I never thought that I was athletic, and I was not athletic. I wasn't one of the athletes, so I thought that I couldn't be in shape or fit or exercise. Even when I got into working out, I did not run. I did not ever like running. I never thought I would. So these are 3 things that I've learned along the way, and I hope that they will be helpful to you as well in your running journey. So the first thing that I recommend is starting small. When we talk about running, right, if someone were to go run the mile, like back in the day when I was in gym class in high school, I could not run the mile. It was terrible. I would dread it. So if someone is not running now and they set a goal to go run a mile tomorrow, that is not realistic. That is not a small goal. That would be terrible. Do not recommend that. So we want to start small and gradually progress over time. What does that look like? So let's look at an example. Let's say someone is comfortable walking 20 minutes, 5 days a week. That's their exercise and they want to start to run. So I would say, hey, maybe take 5 of those minutes, see if you can jog for 10 seconds, walk the other 50 seconds, run 10 seconds, walk the other 50 seconds, and then, till we're at that 5 minutes or just 5 minutes of that 20-minute walk and see how that goes. And then kind of, try that again the next day if that went well. And then gradually running a little bit more, jogging more, walking less, kind of gradually progressing over time. Otherwise, we're going to get discouraged or we can cause injury to ourselves if we do too much too quickly. The second thing that I recommend is working on your form when it comes to running. I think this will help you feel better, get more benefit out of your run, and definitely decrease the risk for injury. So there's a ton of YouTube videos on this, I'm sure, or websites that you can check out for running form. Make sure you use a reliable source. One tip that I have for you though is making sure that your arms are bent at 90 degrees. And then when you run, your arms should help kind of propel you forward and give you some momentum, but you never want your arms to cross the midline. So sometimes I see runners kind of like shifting back and forth. That's not what you want, just a back and forth when you run, and the hand shouldn't go across that midline there. And then when you use your hands, you want to keep them kind of curled up like a little ball. So the tip that everyone always gives is holding ice cream cones. You don't want to have a lot of force or tension in that upper body. You just want to keep that nice and loose, and then pretending like you're running with ice cream cones that you don't want to crush, drop, or break. Also, the body, you kind of want your hips bent at like a 5-degree angle. This slight forward lean is helpful too. And then making sure that your hips are tucked underneath you. That will help with your glute activation. The third tip that I have for you is to cross train. Cross training is so important to just be a better, well-rounded athlete. If our goal is running, that's not what we should do every day, 365 days a year. We would get burnt out, overuse those same muscles all the time. That is not how we should train. Really, if we're working on running and being a better runner, stronger runner, longer, quicker, we want to incorporate other exercises in there. We definitely want to add in some stretching, some foam rolling, some recovery days. We don't want to exercise every day. We want to give our muscles and our body chances and times to recover. But also strength training. Strength training is amazing for those muscles that we need for running, our core, our upper body, everything is needed. So strength training is activating different muscles that help during our run and again, strengthen our body to help decrease injury from our running. And then also we can do other forms of cardio too. So it all doesn't have to be running. I personally love using my bike. I have a Peloton bike. I love doing some extra cardio workouts on there so that way I'm not running for all of my aerobic exercise. Some people swim. The one thing that is an absolute must when you're running is proper shoes. Shoes are such a great investment when someone runs. If we don't have proper shoes, our form will suffer, our feet will suffer. We can have like blisters, obviously lose toenails, and then also really wreak havoc on our joints can increase that risk for injury if we're not in that proper footwear when we run. My favorite shoe to run in, so I've tried so many different shoes over the years. I love Brooks. I just feel like I keep coming back to Brooks. Sometimes I'll change it up a little bit. I used Mizuno for a little while. I tried On Running, which I did not love. Again, I just keep coming back to Brooks. I've personally been running in the Glycerin StealthFit 20s. I love the neutral colors. This is like my favorite shoe. I love these so much. These are actually worn out right now. I know they look brand new, but these are over a year old. I have so many miles on them. I probably should have switched them a while ago. And they have a little wear mark in the heel here. So these will become like just like daily walking, working shoes. And then I did purchase the new 21s. I have the new 21s here. Just I haven't ran in these yet. They changed the style a little bit. I kind of like the older style. Every time they come out with the newer one, they switch a little bit of it. So I kind of like the 20 versus the 21 a little bit more of just the design overall, like kind of like the back better on this one. I like a little bit more of the black, but oh well. Check out this one. So shoes, great investment for running and for the body and to get our most benefit out of our running and really decrease that chance for injury. If you really don't know what shoe to buy or what to wear, or what your gait looks like, there are companies, if you live in a bigger city, there are shoe companies that will watch your gait. So they'll like kind of see how your feet position when you walk and run, and then they'll make recommendations on which shoe to get to make sure that you're in that proper shoe. Those will cost a little bit more, but it really is worth it. It doesn't usually cost anything for that gait analysis and recommendations, but sometimes they upcharge the shoe, but typically they let you try it out for a little bit and like free return. So that's always a great place to start. Actually, that's how I found my first pair of Brooks, was one of those stores in my town here. So definitely check that out if you're looking for shoe recommendations. That's going to be all for this video. Please let me know how your run goes. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.